morning, Bhante. Bhante.
Good morning, Bhante. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's see. This one. Okay.
Where is that picture?
I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you during the meditation.
Okay, it should appear like that every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Only very few people, 66, 60.
Friday, maybe.
No, they are coming.
Yeah. Ready, Bhante?
Yeah, okay. They are trickling slowly and slowly. Okay, let us begin with our metta practice. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. Her own life to protect her only child. Even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, obstructed without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought, let us begin our meditation. We are as we mentioned, we pay total mindful attention to our breathing and notice the breath touching our nostrils and then expanding our lower abdominal area, expanding our chest area, and as we breathe out, we notice contraction of our lower abdomen, contraction of our chest area, and breath leaving our nostrils. When we notice this, we also notice at the same time, of course not in one moment, but during this time, this practice, we notice inhaling, exhaling, and a pause between inhaling and exhaling. This happens invariably, always, without any exception. And then when we breathe out, our breath leaves the nostrils. We notice the contraction of our lower abdomen. We notice the contraction of our chest area and leaves the breath our nostrils. These are happening all the time we breathe in and out. Only when we pay attention we can can we notice them, otherwise they simply keep going on and on always. Now, attention is absolutely necessary our to become aware of what is happening. That is why the Buddha said, Manasikara Sambhava Sabbe Dhamma. All dhammas, wholesome, unwholesome, impermanence, and so forth, body, feeling, and all this, can notice only when we pay attention. If we do not pay attention, we are not aware of them. These things will go on, inhaling, exhaling, pauses, contraction, expansion, all this will go on as usual without our awareness, without being noticed. In order to become aware of it, we have to pay attention. And then, as we keep paying attention, we notice the breath rising and falling, the feeling rising and falling, perception rising and falling, thoughts rise and fall, consciousness rises and falls, and they also happen always, all the time. Only when we pay attention can we notice them, otherwise they also go on and on their own. And then we notice, since there is nothing to excite, nothing to agitate, the breath becomes calm, relaxed and peaceful. The body becomes calm, relaxed and peaceful. The mind becomes calm, relaxed and peaceful. When all these qualities are then the mind relaxes, and then there is no any rigidity, uptightness, and in that relaxed state of mind, metta feeling takes root, metta feeling begins to manifest, and then we become further relaxed, and then our restlessness and worry fade away, compassion arises, especially compassion for those suffering from this COVID and other ailments, sicknesses, pain, and so on. And then as we keep practicing, our mind becomes more active, spiritually active. As we see the reality, we don't fall asleep, we rather remain alert, and then sleepiness and drowsiness fade away. And then we have confidence, trust, because we see the truth in our own experience. Seeing the truth in our own experience is the quality of Dhamma, Paccattam Veditabba Dhamma, and Sanditthika Dhamma, personally experiential Dhamma. We see exactly as they are happening, then we get more confidence. Confidence in the Buddha's supremely enlightened state, with which he gave us this system of meditation. And then, as we follow, our mind opens to this reality that the Buddha taught, And then we have confidence in the Dhamma. And also we know all those who have attained the supreme enlightening state called Arahanthood also had the same practice, seeing impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self or selflessness in everything they experience and attain supremely enlightened. And then we have confidence in them as well. So we have confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Also we can see all this don't happen by themselves singly alone. They all happen depending on other causes and conditions. And this always we experience in our life. In fact, when we deeply look at ourselves, any experience we have, it is caused by something, and then when the cause fades away, vanishes, our experience together with that also vanish. And this gives us more confidence in the reality. And then we gain joy, seeing the truth and confidence. We become joyful, and then that leads to happiness, tranquility, and concentration. When we gain concentration, all that we have mentioned, although they are rough and gross and coarse, but when we gain concentration, the subtlest changes in us we can notice. And then we will see how this practice leads us to gaining insight and wisdom into the reality. So let us continue our practice. dukkha patta ca niddukkha, bhaya patta ca nibbhaya, soka patta ca nisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. With this metta thought, this let us begin our Dhamma talk on Mahakacchana Bhaddekaratta Sutta. It is very meaningful, very profound. As I mentioned day before yesterday, when we look at it or read it or listen to the talk, there you can see two levels. One is simple, ordinary level. Other is very deep, profound, insightful level, and that is the level we want to bring up in this little talk. Yeah, the other day I mentioned the background and part of it, how this discourse began. Venerable Mahakacchana mentioned when one revives, when one thinks, recall or remember of the past sight, things the person has seen. This goes, we take one at a time, seeing. When one sees an object, desire and lust arises. Not any object, desirable object, object that you see, that you like. You may not have a desire and lust when you see very muddy place. That also is a form. When you see somebody is fighting, that also is a form, that action, that people, you will not have a desire and lust at that time. So when you recall, you will not recall those situations, those forms. Lust and desire do not arise in the mind. What brings desire and lust to your current consciousness are the objects that you like very much. A person, you have seen a person, and then you like that person very much for many reasons. The appearance, the skin, height, all please you. When you saw the person, you please seeing the person with these qualities, these attributes. Now you remember the person. At the time you saw the person, you know in your own heart and mind, honestly, that desire and lust arose at that moment, seeing that person. And now you remember that person, this moment. While I'm talking, the lust and desire arises again, It is 100% private, personal. Don't tell me. Don't tell anybody. Look at your mind. You will see how lust, desire and lust arises in your mind. So, this is how you recall the past. You may ask me, what is the wrong with that? What is the wrong with that? With remembering that person having desire and lust? What is the wrong? This is the ordinary way of looking at it. But the wrong is not your own fault, nobody's fault, not the fault of that person, not the fault of yourself, but the true nature of phenomenon is that when pleasing object appears in front of you, since you have eyes and in the past you had eyes and eyes were in good condition, light is there, distance is sufficiently close, and you are conscious, you have contact, and then you have this feeling, all these arose and they revive again here now. But at that very moment in the past, when you saw, when all these combinations come together, clear eyesight, light, distance, attention, contact, and the feeling, all these work together. Feeling, perception, thought, and attention, contact, all these are in your mind as factors of mentality. Now, these factors of mentality arise very quickly all together and disappear at that very moment. You did not know that. But the consciousness can recall this habit, this incident, and they appear again in your mind. When you look at your mind right now, the person is not there, that visibility is not there, that distance is there, not there, that time is not there, that perception is not there, that contact is not there, and yet they appear again in your mind. And in this very moment, when they appear, next fraction of a second, they all disappear. But because of desire and lust, you have what you call chanda raga. Chanda is desire, raga means lust. Because of that, there arises in your mind another moment of suffering, although these are impermanent. All these are impermanent, they appear as quickly as they disappear. They appear as quickly as they appear, and yet our mentality is such that we keep thinking again, repeating that particular sight again and again and again, and increase your desire and lust, and you will grieve for not having that. So, this is a very powerful psychology that Buddha taught us, that if you understand this scenario, this situation exactly as it is, you would not let the mind have this desire and lust depending on the sight you had seen in the past. So, your consciousness, Buddha said the consciousness is the seed, the karma is the field. So you have already planted this seed in your consciousness, and you recall it, and you keep repeating again and again. Not only that incident, not only that seeing, but also your suffering you increase, you repeat. Whenever you think of it, you don't have that. That person is no longer there, person is gone, you don't know whether you will meet that person again, but that memory is locked in your consciousness, and you have this pain. You don't want all this suffering. All you need is the pleasure. Unfortunately, pleasure never comes without pain. That is why I say you buy one, get one free. So you want to entertain, nourish, support desire. But can you leave pain and suffering behind? It never happens. Anytime you entertain this memory, revive it, and then you will at the same time have a seed of pain in your mind. And that is how you increase repeating the same thing again and again and again and again. You experience pleasure, lust, and pain. Another example, hearing, sound. When you hear a sound, a music, song, and so on, some of them are so enticing, so pleasing, so desirable, then desire and lust arise from that sound. I tell you my personal experience. I listened to somebody chanting the qualities of the Buddha. The voice was so sweet, so sweet. On the one hand, I love to hear the qualities of the Buddha. That gives me tremendous joy and trust, confidence, saddha, faith in the Buddha. But when I heard the person singing it in that person's very sweet, well-trained voice, the person has gone to music school and learn how to play piano and all these things, and how to control voice. And in this voice, the person sang the Buddha's qualities. It was so deeply rooted in my mind. When I try to meditate, I cannot meditate. When I want to think of the Buddha's quality, I cannot think of the Buddha's quality because this sound was so deeply rooted in my mind. It has cut a groove in my mind. So what I did was I stopped listening to it, and for many years, even those particular qualities, I don't tend to ignore and simply started forgetting that sound. Now I don't have that because I trained myself very well not to remember that sound, the person at all. Now I can easily recall the qualities of the Buddha. I don't want to listen to that sweet voice. That is very true in anybody's personal life. Uh, so, when Mahakachyana explained this, if you listen to a sound in the past, and that sound exactly that is what happened to me. From my personal experience, I tell you, the sound was so beautiful. It arises and disappears instantly, very quickly, because the sound waves don't stay too long. Sound waves hit our eardrums and vibrate, send to the brain and convert the message into our understanding, and it disappears very quickly. And next sound, next wave, next wave, next wave, next trillions of sound waves comes and hit our eardrums and do their job and disappear instantly. And yet we don't see that. We don't remember that. And you keep thinking of that sound. Every time you think of that sound, the ear was so well trained to listen to it, you are enjoying it, and then that instant desire and lust arises. From the past sound you heard, past sound may not be 10, 15 years ago, maybe 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, yesterday. It can keep revibrating in your mind all the time. And then you cannot focus your mind on the truth of impermanence. So the smell, very, very sweet smell. Some people like all kind of perfume. They give you so much heavenly pleasure. And that when the person remember that, again lust, desire and lust arises. And worse is also the taste. Very, very, very tasty something. Food, cake, ice cream, whatever. Whatever is your favorite. The taste does not stay in our tongue, in our mouth too long. It disappears as it appears very quickly. If you pay attention to your eating, you will see the taste rises and passes away very quickly. And you have to have a next bite, next bite, next bite. And when everything is over, the taste is no longer there. But the memory of that taste and that taste stays in your mind. You try to sleep at night thinking of that taste, you cannot sleep, let alone meditating. So the desire and lust arises from the taste, exactly as it arose from the sight. And then the touch, physical touch, the same. So all these senses are stimulated every time we try to recall them. When they are stimulated, the mind gets excited, agitated, full of desire and lust. And we are in pain. So we revive the past. So the stanza says, the that one should not let this happen, so the person can remain invincible. Asang hirang, asang kupang. And also, based on what you experience now from your previous experience, you will ponder over the future. Tomorrow I will see such and such and such and such a person that you love, that brought your desire and lust. You want to see and keep thinking of it, of that person. You dream of the person. You always engaged in it, and the mind, you make your mind obsessed with that with that reflection or with that future pondering. And then what you experience now is not the present moment. You experience the past, and you will ponder over the future, and the mind is not at rest. Mind cannot see what is happening now. As I mentioned the other day, our training should be to see what is happening now, this moment. Because what happens now has been the same in the past and will be the same in future. That is the nature of Dhamma, the truth. The truth will not vary from place to place, time to time, and so forth. Especially in the Buddha's teaching, he said this Dhamma is akalika, unaffected by time. What happened yesterday will not be different from what was not different from what is happening now. What will happen tomorrow will not be different from what is happening now. And therefore, what we experience now is the same that we experienced yesterday and tomorrow. Why? What we experience now is conditional. These conditions must come together in order for us to experience it. If these conditions are not there, if they were not there yesterday, we couldn't experience that. If these conditions will not be in future will not, we cannot experience that. So the conditions must come together right now in order for us to have this experience. If the conditions are not there, then we don't experience it right now. For instance, seeing objects, we have to have a clear eyes, and there must be light, and we have to pay attention. Even if the object is in front of us, eyes are open, in good health, if we don't pay attention to the object, we don't see the object. Some people can keep eyes open, and somebody can pass across through him, in front of him. He may not even notice it because his attention was not there. So attention must be there, eyes must be in good condition, light must be there, and the contact should be there, and the perception should be there, a consciousness should be there. When all these come together, we call that combination of all of them seeing an object. This is how it happened in the past, this is how it will happen in the future, and this is how it is happening now. So, in order to understand this reality, we must, when all these things come together, we call what is called seeing, and the seeing itself is not lingering for one moment to next moment, not going from one moment to next moment. It appears and disappears as quickly as it appears. And this phenomenon, this truth, is invariable. It doesn't change from time to time, place to place. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and all these happen when these conditions, they are necessary and sufficient conditions come together. They take place when the necessary and conditions are not there. Even one of them is missing, we will not have this experience. So, when Mahakachyana said, therefore, Pachupannancha yo dhammam tatta tatta vipassati. I mean, the Buddha mentioned that Pachupannancha yo dhammam. See the Dhamma, this truth, at the present moment. And tatta tatta vipassati. See them as they arise. See them as they pass away. See them as they occurring. See them appearing, see them disappearing, and see them not staying or fixed. They are not fixed any time, any moment. They are appearing and disappearing. That is a tatta tattva vipassati. Tatta tattva vipassati means see them as they arise. And this is what is called seeing things as they really are. Seeing things as they really are. We have to see them as they arise, see them as they pass away. So, and when one sees this way, seeing here means seeing with wisdom, the person will be invincible, asanghira. The person will be not subdued or possessed or obsessed with anything. Invincible, cannot be vanquished. That person will, that meditator, that one who practices this is invisible and unshakable, asankuppam. That is why Buddha, when he attained full enlightenment, he said, my mind was unshakable. Mind became steady, unshakable. Akuppa me cheto vimutti. Ayamanti mahajati natti dani punabhavo. Akuppa me cheto vimutti. The mind liberated without shaking. That means mind liberated and became unshakable. It cannot be shaken by anything in the world. And therefore, this is what we have to learn from this discourse. And then there is another line that I want to recall, and that is, today the effort must be made. Tomorrow death may come, who knows? Ajjeva kiccang atappang kojanyam maranang suve. Ajjeva kiccang atappang, this is a very beautiful, sometimes the superficial meaning is what we are supposed to do today, we must do it. If we have to go to such and such a place, today we must go. Tomorrow it may rain. We have to go shopping today. Tomorrow shop may be closed or item may be lost. Somebody might have taken, might have been bought before I find it. And therefore today, I mean, this is superficial meaning. I must do this job right now. They are saying heat the iron when it is hot. You know, this sort of statement we hear very often. There is a superficial meaning. The deep meaning is ajjeva kiccang atappam. What is the duty? Teach means duty. We must do that duty right now, this very moment. That means our whole purpose of practice is to liberate ourselves from suffering. Now, this is the moment that we have to work very hard to achieve that goal, attaining liberation by seeing this truth. What is the truth? Truth is impermanence. Truth means, what it means is impermanence. All these are impermanent. That is the exact message we gain from the entire dependent origination. Every factor of dependent origination is not fixed factors, not existing factors. They come to existence and then go out of existence. They arise and then pass away. Imas being sati, idang hoti. When this is, this happen. So we keep this in mind all the time. Therefore, when this opportunity is there, what is the opportunity? Friends, we are living in the Buddha's dispensation. Time of the Buddha's dispensation is still in existing. Before this disappears, we also have a very rare life, human life. That also is not very easy, although people think that so many billions of people are born every day. And the other day I saw in an article 10 million people are born in India one day. 10 million out of, you see, so many people, babies are born, and therefore people might think, oh, human life is not rare. It is available. Too much. They say too much. But friends, that is not what we mean. There may be human beings, but they are not in the, they are not tuned to the right tune to see the truth and Dharma, and they are not attuned. Therefore, no matter how many are there, they may not attain that liberation, even though they are born in the Buddha's dispensation. And we have this opportunity. We listen to Dhamma and we practice, and we can attain that state, provided we understand the truth of the Buddha's teaching. So I will continue this day after tomorrow, and perhaps I would be able to finish this discourse day after tomorrow. And also we want to mention vacation.
Right.
That we want to have a one whole week vacation. we have been doing this every day for 5 days now, and then we need vacation for us to have little time for our own practice. And what are the days we decide to have?
Monday, August 17 through
24, 20.
Well, I guess it would be the 25th, Tuesday. Well, because we don't have class Monday, Tuesday. So we'll be back on Wednesday, the 26th.
Okay.
17 through 26.
Yeah.
Or 17 through 25th, coming back 26.
Okay. So keep that in your calendar. And I want to wind down this session, this morning session, and I thank you all for coming and participating in this. We want to wish all those who are in pain and suffering, we want to wish them to be free from that suffering. We always hear, even last night, just when I was going to bed, somebody telephoned and said the person is in a very serious condition. One of our friends, their parents and relatives were crying and called me. And this happens very often these days, and we want them to be free from pain and suffering and attain liberation soon. Those who are in hospitals trying to recover from this sickness, we want to wish them to regain as quickly as possible and return to their regular healthy life. There are others who have already lost their loved ones, and by learning, practicing Dhamma, uh, and seeing the truth of Dhamma, we want them to be free from their grief and come to their regular life and continue their wonderful practice. There are others, doctors and nurses and hospital staffs, helping those who are suffering in hospitals and even homes. Some home visiting nurses, they all are doing very wonderful selfless service with compassion and understanding. We want them to be free from this disease, never have them that disease. And there are some others who are financially supporting them. May they continue their wonderful service. There are many leaders who are trying to help people with understanding, compassion, and wisdom. May they continue their noble service. Others are still trying to do something, and we want them to be wise, understanding, and have compassion and wisdom to make right decision for the benefit of all of them. And finally, I thank you all for encouraging us, participating in this, and also I want to encourage all of you to continue their wonderful practice. Okay? Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Bye.
Thank you so much,